S. Lee is coming on with a cool dragon, saying, hey, I noticed I kept growing since I started doing random exercises 5 days a week. Wide variety of reps and sets. Is it possible we can grow and train effectively without a, quote, training plan? This is an idea that's long been out there. Some folks out there even encourage kind of a somewhat infrequent training program, kind of along the lines of what I was talking about earlier, where it's like, oh, you don't want your body too used to what you're doing kind of thing. And I think Craig Ballantyne's old turbulence training program kind of goes along that philosophy. I know the P90X on muscle guessing was always a little different. I think Mike Metzer even came out with something along the lines of infrequent training, about how you kind of keep your body off guard a little bit. But it's not because you're guessing. In fact, I haven't followed a regular, steady, written down training plan for several years now. And I sure as hell don't plan on going back to it. And it's not because you're doing something different or new or shocking the body or anything like that. That's not why it's working. This is something that I plan to release a new quick read on in the not too distant future, hopefully, where it's more of what I call adaptive training. And adaptive training is basically where you have the freedom to adjust your exercises and your sets and your reps and everything else that you're doing in order to adapt to your current circumstances. So what kind of time do you have? What kind of equipment resources do you have? What kind of energy and motivation do you have, and so on? So as you're doing this stuff, you're undoubtedly just kind of instinctively saying, okay, I feel like doing this today or that today, or my knees aren't feeling lunges. Maybe I'm going to just go with the upper body, and so on. And what you can inevitably do with this, especially when you know what you're doing and paying attention to it with adaptive training, is that you have a much better chance of satisfying and achieving the fundamental objectives of training, which are actually responsible for your results. You don't get results because of how much work you do or what kind of training plan you follow. I don't care what your workout looks like. 5x5, 3x7, high volume, low volume, moving fast, moving slow. All these things that we're told are so important about your programming really are not the reason why you're building muscle and strength. That's like saying, I have a very sharp knife, and that's why I was able to make chicken cacciatore in the kitchen. It's like, no, you know how to make chicken cacciatore, and you made chicken cacciatore. It doesn't matter if you have a Kensu knife or something special. It's like, those are tools that you're using, absolutely. But that's not why you did it, right? That's just the vehicle, the tool that you're using. Hammers don't build houses. Carpenters do. You're just using the hammer. And it's the same thing with your training plan. It's just a tool, and tools are not responsible for the end product. They're just what you're using to enable it to happen. And do you need that in order to make it happen? No, not at all. All you need to do is create the stimulus that you're after in your training plan. And if you know what that stimulus you're trying to achieve is, and you have adaptive, or you can train effectively in alignment with it, which is one of the advantages of adaptive training, then it doesn't matter what you're doing. It doesn't matter how you're training. It doesn't matter what tools you're using. What those things do matter, but it matters insofar as you use whatever's easiest for you to achieve those objectives. And if you can do that better with adaptive training and progressive calisthenics, you're going to get better results with adaptive training and progressive calisthenics. If you personally find like, no, I need a set training plan that has it spelled out to the letter, and I like using my total gym that I bought at a garage sale for $20, well, then go that way. Because it's really not about what are you doing. It's about how well can you achieve those fundamental objectives. And I talk about that ad nauseum in many of the previous podcasts in the past month or so I won't go too much into it. But that's why you get results, not because you have a certain plan or whatnot.